Okay, so looks like we're about to be moving on to the next minigame mode for the sake of the minigame cruise and stuff like that. Which, if you might be familiar with this next mode coming up right now, if you ever played Mario Party 5 and Mario Party 6 before, we have Decathlon Castle competes for the highest number of minigame points. So basically, once again, we are going back onto the Decathlon kind of routine again, ever since in new forms of Mario Party 5 and Mario Party 6, but now it takes place in a different setting. Like, for instance, in Mario Party 5 do manage to take place in a stadium, and then in Mario Party 6 does manage to take place in a park, and now in Mario Party 7, it takes place in a castle, which is interesting. But before we get into that though, this is before when the top 100 comes into play, that basically you can either choose either the 10 minigames run, or the half of it. So basically you're able to go for the half race, which you can able to deal with 5 minigames, or you can able to do full race, which in this case I'm going to be doing full race from now on, because obviously we're about to be able to do the usual routine, like going through 10 of those minigames in any random order this time around, which as far as I'm aware, unlike Mario Party 5 and Mario Party 6, for those Decathlon modes, basically you always have to come across into the exact same order of minigames every time you replay the actual mode. Whilst in here, this time around though, the actual minigames are randomized on the junior forms of those 10 rounds. So, I guess that might be something a little bit more, something similar, but at the same time a little bit differently compared to the forms of the other games. So, although the ultimate goal is the same, just like in the forms of how it does in the other 2 games, like, the more you're able to actually get some best performance on certain minigames, like for example I've got about 285 points total for the sake of Target Tag, the first minigame we've played, and then if we manage to able to collect a certain amount of points, the points will convert it onto that particular tally through your Decathlon run. So yeah, that's basically how this goes. And I've got the first greatest run I actually got, so in this case I've got about 975 points, at least as far as I can usually heard about it, even though I wasn't paying attention, because somehow I got distracted by other things to mention. So anyways, let's move on to track and yield. So in this case though, we need to jump over for those hurdles, including the electrical ones we need to jump over, so yeah, that might be seems a little bit obvious here. So, yeah, today's day is, of course, the 26th of February today, in this case in 2022 today. So it looks like that not only that I'm sure that most toys has already mentioned about this ever since in The Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past Let's Play, in addition to the forms of Wario Land 4 Let's Play, I think, that recently that the PlayStation Vita, for those of you who lived in America and in European country, in this case the UK, the PlayStation Vita has now been out for 10 years. So yeah, why does all time flies all of a sudden? And also during the forms of today, that Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing just came out, I think it's like 12 years ago now. So yeah, ever since in 2010, oh man, it was such a great racing game indeed. Especially noticeable about the fact that, wow, it's better enough if you guys ever played the Xbox 360 version of that game, you get yourselves Banjo-Kazooie in it, which, yeah, let me know in the comments below for the question of the day. Was you still able to actually experience Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing for multi-platforms and stuff like that? Did you ever play the 360 version or the PlayStation 3 version for the PlayStation guys out there? Or the Wii version for the sake of motion controls, or even a DS version for the sake of on-the-go play? Or the PC version? So even then I'd like to hear your thoughts down below to see if how the fact that, well, did you still have some fun with the forms of that game after 12 years of release? Because I would like to hear your thoughts, even though that game still didn't came out in Japan for some reason, because it only came out on the English version. So yeah, apparently Japanese players are very unlucky to able to not get the original Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing game. Although they did the sequel though, in Japan anyway though, so that's that. And same applies to Team Sonic Racing as well, so I guess that's that as well. So it looks like we're not doing too bad right here. Now as far as whatever I compared to the forms of the points total, if you remember, if you ever guys watched our playthroughs or the Let's Plays of Mario Party 5 and Mario Party 6, as far as what I've double checked on Mario Party 5, basically though, I think Mighty did pretty good. Like, he actually got about 7,051 points, so it's almost like 8,000 or something like that, which is pretty average score. However though, Joel doesn't have that stronger experiences when it comes to Decathlon Park Run from Mario Party 6. I think she only got like 4,162, mainly because getting like high scores, likely 6,000 or more, is actually pretty tough, I have to admit, especially noticeable about the fact that, well, mind you, she did manage to play the mode while the computer players on hard difficulty, you know, like in any other Mario Party Let's Plays we have done for the sake of likely a minigame mode variety. But usually that's as far as I can usually try to say about this for the most part, so... Oh, god dang it! Could have able to actually get more points, but thanks to Wario, just keeps on getting in my way. But regardless of such though, we're just gonna have to accept it, so... And I think, fundamentally speaking, that, I think, if I recall correctly, that Sonic did actually tell me for this once, that originally, Piglet did done Decathlon Castle video from ever since in, I think it was in 2011, the same year as Mario Party 5 minigame Decathlon, and especially noticeable with Mario Party 6 Decathlon Park. But unfortunately though, the original videos of those are no longer there because the quality itself is really bad and horrendous at the same time. But I think Sonic did actually tell me once that Piglet keeps on mentioning about the forms of more infos in Mario Party 9 back in the day during the course of 2011. I think it's during in December time. So yeah, I think that was actually a pretty good memory for the sake of time, despite back in the day in 2011 it's gone pretty crappy as far as I'm concerned. But I digress. So yeah, I guess there's not much else I can honestly trying to talk about, because aside from the fact that, well, relatively speaking, it's just the fact that we've almost nearly at the end of February already, before we move on to the forms of the next month, which appears to be by the forms of, well, March. So because of that though, March, it will be up next for the sake of, well, pretty much everything when it comes to everything I can usually respect for. And also, about that time is the fact that, well, we've only just got about, actually, no matter what though, oh, I somehow managed to beat, this particular minigame fun run with under 50 seconds, and I think Wario didn't get a chance by doing this, so even though, oh jeez, Luigi and Waluigi are somewhat close to each other, like 62 seconds. Well, nothing matters anyway, because, well, they're doing alright, but on the other hand, look at that! I got myself 1,000 points. And to get that reward, I think you have to beat Fun Run with under 50 seconds. So, well, I don't know if this might be potential when it comes to the regional differences, able to get that specific amount of points. But we'll see what happens, assuming if I can able to do a massive research on certain things. Alright, so we're now on to the halfway point. So next of all is Monty's Revenge. So that will be pretty tough if I'll try my best to do it. So anyway, yeah, I think we've only got 5 days left until the 5th anniversary or the 5th birthday of the Nintendo Switch release. So, along with the forms of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild as well. So, yeah, that might be something worth noting for the sake of trying to mentioning that. So, anyways, let's go ahead and concentrate here, just in case I don't want to let... Oh god. Okay. Oh, jeez Louise. Okay. I did not notice that the Monty Mall AI can usually just goes like all over the place. But unfortunately, I didn't get on top because Wario somehow beat me to it. But that's okay, because either way though, I still managed to get a lot of points for that particular part. And even though Wario just managed to get 805. Oh, goodness gracious. I think the highest score you can get up to in order to get like 1,000 points on that minigame, I'm pretty sure it's either 25 seconds or 30 seconds. So, at least good luck with that, because obviously with the Monty Mall's AI, pattern goes all over the place, you know? Alright, Snow Ride. Pretty much self-explanatory right here. It's just the fact that, well, we're just gonna have to you know, not to get hit by any other gates or, some cases, a warp pipe, so that way you don't slow down with these things, so... But, hopefully by that time, whenever we get into the forms of sometime in April, then, sure enough, that Maxi will definitely go back onto Super Mario 3D All-Stars after that long break from that, Super Mario 64 game, from the likes of Super Mario 3D All-Stars game so far. So, because relatively speaking, it's just the fact that we'll, switch turns between the forms of certain other games as far as I'm somewhat concerned with, but either way, though, we'll, go ahead and just finish this minigame right here. Oh, jeez. That was actually around almost roughly the same time as the other 3 players. Likely for 36 seconds, but the only difference is milliseconds. They just went for the finish line, so... 807 points. Seems all pretty good, all things considered. I think I will say that getting these extra points, like converted into the actual Decathlon points, is actually rather easy to rank up. At least from my experience anyway, but we'll see what happens until the next few rounds left. So in this case, we are now on round 8, Pokey Pamel. This should be a piece of cake, especially noticeable after dealing with a lot of button mashing. I keep always doing really good at it, those things, but hopefully I might as well try my best if I can get this for under 6 seconds or something. I think dang it. Oh well. I was really hoping I can able to get it under 6 seconds, but close enough. Alright, so let's see how the others are doing, especially noticeable for converting those points. So, let's see the actual tally. Oh, okay. I got almost 800, if only I didn't mess it up with the timing, you know, tapping the A button rapidly syndrome or something, so... Alright, only 2 more rounds to go, so I think that the next minigame, it could be either Air Force or Take Me On. I think those are the only minigames left. So which one is it gonna be next? Oh, Take Me On. So, of course, Air Force will be the last minigame on this mode, so at least I'll be alright with that. However though, if you decide able to go through the half race, basically your save report will not save if you do the half race. So the only ones it does save though is of course the full experience. To be more specifically, the full race in general, 10 minigames to be exact. So that's something you need to classify for noticing that if you really want to see your high scores and stuff like that. So okay, so both Luigi and Wario got knocked out at the same time-ish? Well, except with the milliseconds department, so hopefully I should able to last until for about a minute or so, at least depending on the forms of the actual timing jumps I could have to put up with, so... Oh god. It can be pretty crazy though, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, it does almost kind of reminds me of a little bit from, I can't remember what the another minigame I was... Oh, wait. One of those minigames in Super Mario Party. Oh, God! I somehow accidentally touched the third electrical thing right there. But oh well. Almost a minute, though. Which, talking about a minute, I believe if you survive for about a minute, basically, though, that you would be able to get 1,000 points. I'm pretty sure. And unfortunately for both Luigi, Wario, they somehow got like the exact same points. While for Waluigi, he's doing pretty bad. So, alright, onwards to the last minigame in Decathlon Castle. This one appears to be, of course, Air Force. So, hopefully, I will try my best if I gonna compete against with harder computer players. Alright, let's see how this goes though, hey? Go. Unfortunately though, this will be the last time we're going to be seeing the actual Decathlon modes like this until Mario Party DS has it, mainly for like Score Scuffle mode, and also Decathlon mode from the likes of Mario Party the Top 100, so yeah, I kind of wish if it has like a Decathlon mode on Mario Party Superstars, but unfortunately though, we didn't have it, so... Oh well, not the end of the world honestly, so... Ooh, dang. Every single one of us actually has 900 plus points. But ultimately speaking though, I actually did somehow manage to become the victory right here. And of the final results, within 7,904 points, that is me. Which I will say, that is the best Decathlon mode runs I've ever done. So yeah, I guess that's super top notch. Almost perfect though, but I will say that run is so great. So anyways, let's move on to the next the next minigame mode.